Drake just got caught doing the one thing he swore he'd never do again, and his own team ratted him out by accident. Multiple OVO-aligned pages leaked the footage, panicked, and yanked it down within minutes like a hostage negotiator was screaming through their earpiece. Whatever the boy was filming out there, somebody in that circle didn't want us to see it, and now the whole internet is chasing the receipts. Bro really tiptoed back into the lion's den wearing a jersey, and thought nobody would connect the dots? Drake picked the worst possible spot on the map to play tough guy. Before we get into it, like, subscribe, don't miss it. Aubrey Drake Graham, Drizzy himself, was filmed shooting a brand new music video out in California, rocking a Joe Burrow Cincinnati Bengals jersey, and the footage was pushed live by two OVO-friendly pages plus rap outlet Kirko. This all popped off around 12 a.m. Eastern on May 26, 2026, dropped straight to Instagram and X before getting scrubbed within minutes. Drake really thought he could sneak this move past us with no consequences. Bro clearly didn't think this through. Now let's look at the receipts that show why this whole rollout backfired. Billboard. Alright y'all, let me walk you through the quote bank because this is where it gets stupid. One of the Drake feeder pages posted the clip on May 26th with the exact caption. Drake seen filming another music video in California. Wonder what this song is for. Innocent, right? Wonder what this song is for. Bro said what? That's the same innocent bystander energy his whole camp has been running for 2 years. When I read that caption I had to do a double take. Wonder what this song is for. Now you know exactly what it's for, that's why you posted it, my guy. That very same night, right before the California footage went up, a separate story hit multiple pages claiming, and I quote from the reports, the Recording Academy approached both Drake and Universal Music Group regarding potential Grammy submissions for his 3 latest albums, and Drake was allegedly declining. Hot New Hip Hop ran with it, Kirko ran with it, the whole feeder network ran with it on the same day. When I saw that headline I was like, nah. The Recording Academy is begging you for 2027 Grammy submissions in May of 2026. That's the dumbest flex I've ever heard. That's not a leak, that's fan fiction with a press badge. Hot New Hip Hop. And this one's the whole reason we're here. On his own album Iceman on the track Make Them Pay aimed straight at Kendrick Lamar. Drake raps a bar throwing around 100 million streams like it's gospel. He said the number. He put it on wax. Real talk, when I heard that line, I had to rewind 3 times because the math ain't matting on any streaming platform in existence. That's where he lost the plot. You can't drop a diss bar with a stat that anybody with a Spotify account can debunk in 10 seconds. Billboard. DJ Akademiks, yeah, that Akademiks, publicly received an OVO baddies chain from Drake during the Iceman rollout. He filmed it, posted it, showed it off on Instagram. AK straight up called it his first time meeting Drake. Listen, when I saw that chain glinting on camera I said out loud, this ain't journalism, this is a gift bag. That's the loudest quiet part out loud moment I've seen in hip-hop media in years. Instagram. Going back to 2024, when Complex asked Drake directly about avoiding Los Angeles, he told them he hadn't yet returned to LA to perform because he'd finished his American tour before the diss track started flying. That was his own excuse in his own words. Bro really said that publicly and then 2 years later showed up filming in LA wearing a jersey? When I read that old quote next to the new footage I was like, sir, the receipts don't match. Complex. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Alright, here's where y'all didn't notice this though. That California shoot? Dropped in the exact same 24-hour window as the fake Grammy leak. 2 coordinated stories, same day, same feeder pages, same deletion pattern. That's not a coincidence, that's a group chat. The interview? Went up in 2024, roughly 6 months after Not Like Us broke the Spotify single-day streams record. Meaning Drake publicly explained his LA absence after he'd already lost the biggest rap battle of the streaming era. He built the I already toured alibi to cover for the fact that he got run out. So Drake really waited 2 full years to sneak back in? That's the timing of somebody who's desperate, not somebody who's dominant. That OVO chain? Handed to a media personality during the Iceman rollout. Not before, not after. Placed exactly when the album needed cover fire. And that gift wasn't a one-off. It was the anchor of an entire ecosystem. Akademiks on the commentary side, feeder pages on the news side, streaming metrics getting spun on the reporting side. That's a full-stack media operation. Any smart person would have spaced these moves out to make it look organic. But apparently subtlety ain't on the menu. Now here's the industry math that actually matters. Kendrick Lamar's coronation moment happened at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood in February 2022. The Super Bowl 56 halftime show with Dr. Dre, Snoop, M, Mary J, and 50. Same stadium. Same city. Same coast Drake avoided for 2 years. And who was the losing quarterback in that Super Bowl? Joe Burrow. So Drake, The guy dodging LA since the beef ended allegedly shows up on that exact coast wearing the jersey of the guy who lost at that exact stadium during Kendrick's biggest career moment? Bruh. That's not fashion. That's a subliminal wrapped in polyester. Wikipedia. And here's the kicker on the business side. The Academy is begging me to submit leak lands right when Iceman's streaming momentum is cooling and the numbers need a boogeyman. That story, timed exactly to reframe declining chart performance as industry sabotage. So Drake did this 3 stories deep in the same news cycle? That's terrible timing, bruh. When you're running that many plays in 24 hours, one of them is gonna get flagged. And both of them did. The relationship map is even nastier. Same feeder pages that pushed the fake Grammy story pushed the LA footage. Same pages that boosted the Spotify streaming numbers that Billboard later parroted into an official chart narrative. That's when you know Drizzy doesn't have real strategists. He has hype men with posting privileges. NPR. Nobody's talking about the outfit choice. Zoom in on that jersey. Not a Rams jersey, the winning team from that SoFi Super Bowl. Not a Lakers, not a Dodgers, not a Clippers. A Bengals Joe Burrow throwback. In a Los Angeles music video shoot. That specific jersey means Drake wasn't just showing up in LA. He was cosplaying the guy who lost on that exact field. Which means one of 2 things. Either his stylist is the pettiest person alive, or this is a coded message saying, I'm the visitor who came to take the trophy back. And Kendrick really shouldn't catch that? Nah, K-Dot caught it before the post got deleted. Rolling Stone. That 2-word phrase, wonder what, is the tell. Nobody wonders about their own client's project. Publicists don't ask questions, they answer them. That wonder what this song is for phrasing is the exact tone of a coordinated hype seed, designed to get fans speculating publicly so the algorithm boosts the mystery. That's not organic curiosity, that's a marketing brief. If Drizzy had half a brain, he would have noticed his own team was tipping the play. Now zoom in on the deletion timing. Multiple pages posted within a narrow window. Multiple pages deleted within a narrow window. That kind of synchronized takedown doesn't happen because of individual editorial decisions. It happens because somebody up the chain sent a signal. Look at the pattern. Post, ripple, backlash, delete. That's a rollback protocol. That's how you know these pages have a shared point of contact. That's the problem with the boy. He doesn't just read between the lines, he writes between them and thinks nobody's watching. The 100 million streams bar on Make Them Pay. Pick apart the word choice. He didn't say millions plural vague. He said a specific 8-figure round number designed to sound like a fact. That specificity is the tell. In diss records, exaggeration is expected. But pinpoint numbers are meant to be believed. Drake picked a stat sticky enough for stans to repeat and vague enough to never source. That's not confidence, that's a con. And Drizzy really thought fans wouldn't fact-check the diss track that literally names another artist? That's embarrassing. Billboard. Now check the pattern across the whole ecosystem. The chain to AK. The feeder page timing. The specificity of the diss stat. The jersey. The caption. Every single piece is calibrated for one audience. The casual listener who forms opinions from headlines and vibes, not deep dives. That's the whole strategy. Overwhelm the surface, hope nobody digs. But when you stack every detail side by side, they don't look like coincidences. They look like a checklist. That's the move of somebody playing chess with all pawns. Hot New Hip Hop. Here's where the outlets split. Hot New Hip Hop framed the Grammy story as a legitimate industry pushback narrative. Like Drake was the victim of institutional pressure. That framing depends on you not remembering the timeline. Because remember that same day drop we mapped out? The moment you put the LA shoot and the Grammy leak side by side, H&H's whole industry versus Drake spin collapses into Drake versus his own release calendar. Hot New Hip Hop. Then you got NPR, who framed the entire Iceman era as Drake fighting for cultural relevance after Not Like Us broke him. Different spin, different tone, but at least NPR calls the beef what it is, decisive. Their framing treats Drake as the defendant in this cultural moment, not the plaintiff. That's night and day from how the feeder pages painted it. NPR. Complex takes yet another angle. They historically framed Drake's LA absence as a logistics decision from his own mouth. Their interpretation gave him the benefit of the doubt years ago. But that framing hasn't aged well. Remember the alibi he gave them? It only makes sense if you never plan to go back. Now that he did go back quietly in a jersey filming a video, Complex's old framing is basically a receipt against him now. Complex. Now some OVO defenders are saying this is all a reach, that the jersey is just a jersey, the timing is just coincidence, the leaks are just leaks. But those are the same people who bought the Spotify inflated first day numbers before Billboard had to walk them back. Those are the same people who thought the Grammy fanfiction was real reporting. If you still think Drizzy has a strategic point after watching 3 stories collapse in 1 week, you're not analyzing, you're defending. Rap TV and the Kirko crew tried to spread this narrative like it was gospel. The receipts from every other outlet don't lie. Facebook. Mainstream hip-hop media wants you to think this whole Drake situation is about music. About bars. About who dropped the better project. Every outlet is running with the artist versus artist frame like it's still 2018 and rap beef is just a creative sport. Here's what they won't tell you. This isn't a rap beef anymore. This is psychological warfare. And Drizzy is losing on the exact battlefield he chose. Every single move we've broken down, the LA sneak trip, the jersey, the deleted post, the fake Grammy leak, the chain to AK, the fabricated stream count on the diss track, it's all part of one strategy. Manufacture the appearance of dominance because the actual dominance ain't there anymore. That's not confidence. That's a psyop running on fumes. And here's the deeper truth that's uncomfortable for the whole industry. Drake isn't fighting Kendrick. He's fighting a reality where Kendrick already won and moved on. That Super Bowl halftime moment in February 2025? Kendrick performed at the biggest cultural stage on earth without saying Drake's name once. And the culture still knew exactly who lost. That is what Drake is trying to erase with the jersey, the shoot, the propaganda circle. But you can't erase a coronation with a costume. The boy is playing checkers while K-Dot is playing chess in a stadium the boy was banned from. Rolling Stone. Look at the pattern from a manipulation standpoint. Remember the chain moment we broke down? That's not fan appreciation, that's a payroll. Remember the feeder page timing? That's not journalism, that's a syndicate. Remember that "wonder what this song is for" caption? That's not curiosity. That's a psyop prompt engineered to get fans doing free labor spreading the mystery. The whole David versus industry Goliath narrative on Iceman is stagecraft. Drizzy isn't the underdog fighting UMG. He is UMG's biggest asset trying to look like an underdog, because underdogs sell more records than kings. That's not artistry, that's a marketing thesis. Bro is a puppet pretending to cut his own strings on camera. And here's why this matters beyond the beef. Y'all remember that jersey detail we decoded? It's not just petty, it's a symptom. When your dominant artistic play is coded outfit choices in coastal music videos, you don't have bars anymore. You have costumes. That's the old guard's last move. Style over substance, symbols over statements. Drizzy represents the era that turned hip-hop into a numbers game. And now that the numbers are getting fact-checked in real time on Make Them Pay, he's out of moves. This is his desperate attempt to stay relevant in an era that's moved past him. NPR. And here's the historical echo nobody wants to name. We've seen this exact playbook before. Rappers pass their peak, running to their opponent's home city for a moment, staging visibility over victory, hiring media proxies to sell a comeback that the music itself can't deliver. Every time, without exception, it ends the same way. The artist looks smaller, not bigger. Drizzy is repeating the same mistakes that ended careers of legends way tougher than him. We've seen this before. The boy is on the losing side of history and he doesn't even know it yet. The real story isn't Drake versus Kendrick. The real story is Drake versus time. And time is undefeated. Every leaked video, every deleted post, every chain gift, every fabricated stat is a tick of a clock that's already run out. The industry needs Drizzy to fail loudly enough to signal a new era. And he's giving them exactly what they want by being louder than ever while saying less than ever. His whole persona right now is manufactured and it's falling apart on our timeline in real time. And that's the truth they won't tell you. Because if they told you that, they'd have to admit the entire Drake versus the industry narrative on Iceman is theater. And half of them are the actors. Here's what's most likely to happen. Drake's gonna drop the LA shot video within the next few weeks. Probably tied to a surprise project that insiders are already whispering could be scary hours for. When it drops, watch the feeder page network light up in perfect synchronization within the same 60-minute window. Watch the streaming numbers hit record-breaking territory before any independent analyst can verify. And watch K-Dot say nothing in response. When Kendrick doesn't respond, Drizzy is gonna look desperate screaming into the void with a $2 million video budget and no opponent on the mat. The silence is gonna hurt him more than any diss track could. Kendrick's whole strategy is gonna be, I already won, why would I clock in? And that's the most brutal counter in rap history. TikTok. Now if the alternative happens and K-Dot actually responds, even a subliminal, even a one-bar throwaway on a feature, Drizzy is not ready for what's coming. Kendrick isn't just gonna diss him. He's gonna cite receipts. He's gonna reference the jersey. He's gonna reference the LA trip. He's gonna reference every propaganda move we just broke down and turn each one into a bar. And when that happens, the entire feeder page network we mapped out will be exposed as evidence in a public record. We saw what Kendrick did to the boy in 2024. The boy doesn't stand a chance if K. decides to clock back in. Wait till those bars land. Every deleted post becomes a courtroom exhibit. There's also a wild card scenario nobody's talking about, the recruitment angle. Drake might be trying to build a lyricist coalition for Scary Hours 4 to do the heavy lifting he can't do solo anymore. Watch for feature announcements over the next few weeks featuring Kendrick's known industry rivals. If that pattern shows up, it confirms Drizzy can't win one-on-one and needs a whole tag team. That's not a rap album. That's a hostage situation with credits. He's about to look desperate recruiting an entire roster just to protect himself. That's not chasing the throne. That's calling for backup. Looking at the bigger picture, culturally, this is a legacy-defining stretch that Drizzy is fumbling in slow motion. 5 years from now, people will look back at May 2026 as the exact moment Drake's team stopped being able to hide the strings. The deleted posts, the jersey, the fabricated stats, the payroll chains, all of it will be evidence in the case study of how the biggest artist of a generation became the most transparent illusion in music history. He's watching the culture move on without him, and there's nothing he can do about it except film more videos in cities that don't want him. Reddit. Mark my words, the streaming inflation is gonna get audited. The feeder page ecosystem is gonna get exposed by a real journalist within the next year. And the Drake versus the industry narrative is gonna be recognized as one of the most successful and most fraudulent PR campaigns of the streaming era. When that dam breaks, the boy's whole legacy is gonna get a rewrite in real time. This is gonna be the moment everyone remembers as when Drizzy's relevance died. Not with a diss, but with a deleted post. And here's the part that should scare his fans the most. When Scary Hours 4 drops, if it drops, and it doesn't move the culture the way Iceman couldn't move it, there's no next lever to pull. He's used the industry victim card. He's used the coastal comeback card. He's used the paid media card. He's used the stat fabrication card. What's left? Nothing. He'll be forced to either go quiet or go broke trying to buy relevance. Either way, the throne he's chasing already got vacated by the man who never even needed it. Whatever happens, one thing's clear. The boy already lost. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering the real story, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss when we expose what everyone else is too scared to say. Ring that bell for notifications. And if you want more truth bombs like this, click on one of these videos next. Trust me, you'll want to see what we found.